Alright, today I got to change the rear brakes on my wife's 2020 Ford Escape. But on the back, it has the electronic parking brake, and you cannot remove the caliper without shutting off the emergency electronic parking brake. Because if not, then it will push the piston all the way out and destroy your caliper. So I tried to do it through the dash with the key on, the accelerator down, the e-brake, pushing the button down. Tried it multiple times, didn't work. I don't know what's the matter with the thing, but someone else suggested that all you have to really do is take off the plug that goes to it, leave it unplugged. It won't get any power to this little motor, and then you can do your work and then plug it back in. I already did the other side. I unplugged it, did the brake job, plugged it back in, started the car. There were no alarms, no nothing. I turned on the e-brake and it worked exactly as normal. So I didn't unhook my negative terminal. I probably should have, but I didn't want the wife complaining that she lost all her radio functions. And it probably really wasn't necessary anyway. So we'll start into this. First thing you have to do is take off the plug. I'm just using a small flat screwdriver blade. Put it underneath, gently lift up on the plug. Do not break it. That's the only thing that holds it on. Grab it by the back and slide it towards that shock. Lift up on the tab, slowly pull it out, and once it clears, it'll just come off by hand and just kind of place it out of the way. Don't bend it around too much. You don't want to break it. Next, you're going to have to take out, there's two plugs, one high, one low. They're just to keep it clean from dirt getting in as you're working. Both those bolts that hold the actual caliper on require a 7mm Allen head tool to back the screws out. They're a little snug in there. It may take some working, but you'll get them out. These two weather clips just pull out, put your thumbnail behind them, pop them out. Use your 7mm to back out the two bolts, one there, one on the bottom. Get it so they clear the bracket. Once it clears the bracket, next thing you got to do, pop off the spring on the outer pad. Your new pads, if you buy something decent from Napa, it'll come with a new spring. I suggest you take a picture of it so you know exactly the way it goes back on. But it's not hard. You might need a screwdriver, some pliers to pop it back in. If your wife wants scorched earth on her discs, like mine did, then you're going to have to replace the disc also. To do that, two 13mm bolts down here. You see 1 and 2. They're kind of tight. I think Ford used some type of Loctite on them because they're snug to come out all the way out. And they're quite snug going back in, which I guess is a good thing. You don't want them backing out and falling off. If you don't need to change your disc, then don't worry about it and leave them in. And just maybe fast forward to the next section. The only thing you have to make sure to do when you unplug the emergency brake is this piston has to now be cranked in. It rotates clockwise to go back in. I picked myself up a tool. I got it at Harbor Freight. Cheap, but it works. Good reviews. You mount it in here, start to crank it, and it cranks it in. Crank it till it stops. Don't force it. It'll stop on its own. And then once you have that in, you can reassemble it, plug your connector back in, and you're done. You don't have to mess with the computer at all. Alright, I got the piston cranked all the way back in with the tool. Super easy. Not so easy to crank it plus hold a phone. But it's all the way in. You could probably get away with channel locks. I used to do that in the past when I was a kid. Didn't have any money for extra tools. It works, but it tears up the outside of the piston drum And you can also tear the rubber boot, which is just like a weather protectant on it. It's not good. If you can spare it, I bought a kit. It was 64 bucks. I think they have a $44 kit. I just wanted to make sure I had all the attachments for next time. I probably have to do this on a different vehicle. But I'll start to reassemble this caliper now. All right, pads are on, new clips on. Where are they at? The little nubs are back on, weather protectant. Literally all you got to do, lines up, really easy. Line it up, click it in, put the tire back on, start the car, you're done. Thanks, enjoy, good luck.